So this is what you see when you log in. It's clean, it's simple, everything you need in one place. You've got your portfolio value, your total monthly cash flow from your portfolio, your equity position, and your overall net yield, all updating in real time as you add properties and run the numbers and analyze deals and add properties to your portfolio. But the dashboard here that you see is just the starting point. So let me show you where the real power is, which is the deal analyzers. So as you can see, we've got multiple deal calculators here. We've got a flip one, buy to let, B.R.R.R, HMO, an SA one. I've got some other tools as well that we'll get into in a second. So let me just jump into the flip analyzer, which I've got open here on this window. So we've got purchase price, stamp duty. We've got obviously you put the property details in there. We've got the acquisition costs. That opens up a stamp duty calculator so you can put in the correct amount, obviously depending on your own circumstances and whether you're buying personally or in a company, etc., etc. You can add in all the fees. Absolutely nothing is left out. Finance here, cash purchase, bridging loan, or existing mortgage. So if we select bridging loan, we can add in the details there and it all plumbs into the figures over here in the results card. Refurb costs. If we go up to the top and click refurb costs, we've got a refurb cost planner, which walks you through absolutely everything and breaks it down into different areas: kitchen, bathroom, internal works, external, professional fees and miscellaneous. We always need a contingency, so that's in there as well. So let's go back to the deal calculator. And yeah, absolutely everything is in there. And the best part about this is this results section here. So let's focus on that. So based on these random numbers that are already populated in here, it's telling me to proceed with caution. It's giving it a rating of 52 out of 100 because the margins are thin and we need to double check the refurb costs. And it's given us some extra data there. So profit 13 grand is thin after unexpected costs. Margin may not survive. Return on investment on cost is scored low. Review this area. So it tells you about the deal and it gives you a bit of insight as well with the AI calculation. We've also got on here, you can generate an investor pack, which then you can share with an investor client. You can add this deal to your pipeline. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And you can save the deal summary as a PDF as well. But in the flip calculator, what we've got is obviously the refurb cost. We've also got a schedule of works, which looks like this, which is absolutely awesome. So you put in the property address, project reference, the name of the project, target start date, target completion date for your flip, project manager or owner of this, whoever's project managing, and you can print that off, download that, and you've got a schedule of works there that you can give to your project manager. Then we've got a contractor checklist, which walks you through step by step to do your due diligence on your contractor, to check they've got public liability, to check they've got the liability insurance, do some company's house checks, Google reviews, social media, website check, references from previous clients, visit a live site that they've got going on. Maybe you're looking at flips at the moment and you haven't even considered any of that when it comes to the contractor. Well, this is what you need to be doing if you're a professional investor or a professional deal sourcer, getting things done in the right way. Then we've got agreeing payment terms. Never pay the money all up front. We all know this, but people still do it. And yeah, it walks you through the whole process there and how you should do it. And then we've got the contracts. What contract should you use based on the job? And some guidance there. And then we've got a checklist at the bottom. So this, guys, is way more than a deal calculator, way more than the spreadsheets that people are used to. So let's go back to the screen here and then go to portfolio. Right here is where things really get interesting. For anybody that already owns property or you're planning on owning property in the near future, this is your portfolio dashboard. Every property you own, obviously this is just a test account, every property you own, you can add to portfolio tracker. And what that gives is an all-in-one view, so you can see how many properties you've got, what your monthly net income is, what the equity is, which is just amazing. It really is. And another little cool tool we've added in here is you can you can export an Excel sheet and give an overview, which is broker friendly. Give that to your broker when you're trying to raise finance, or maybe you're looking to refinance one of your existing properties. You can export as an Excel, you can export as a PDF, give that sheet to your broker, and they're going to be very happy it's broker friendly. What we've also got here is compliance and insurance, and we can add in all sorts of things here in terms of add a certificate. So you might have had a gas safety done, and then you can add in the details, add that in terms of when the renewal date is. And what that will do is it will tell you if something has expired, if something is due to be renewed, and you need to take care of that in the next 30 days, the next 90 days. Or hopefully what we've got is everything to tick in the portfolio. So now we're going to look at the freedom tracker. So this is a game changer. This is something that you just don't see anywhere else. So what you do is you set your passive income target and you watch your portfolio close that gap month by month. And in this scenario, the target is £3,500, but that's the passive income target. And we're earning 2,800. So we are 80% of the way towards that target, which is just a really nice visual representation to be able to see where you're at. And then we've got the war chest. It shows you exactly how much equity and liquid capital that you have to deploy right now. So when a deal lands on your desk, you're not sure, you're scrambling around trying to figure it out if you can afford this deal that you've come across. With this, you already know. You can see exactly what you can afford and can't afford. And maybe if you've got too much equity tied up, you might look at refinancing. And this tells you you've got a war chest of 465 grand, which means you could fund 15 rental properties based on the average deposit in your portfolio being 29 grand. And that means that with this available war chest of 465 grand, which is your liquid capital, your cash reserves, and your equity, you potentially could have this as passive income if you purchased this amount of properties. Now, this is obviously just a test account to show you exactly how that works. And then we've got some further information here. What should I buy next? Based on your existing portfolio, it's kind of showing you, maybe to consider SA as there's something to look at. And look at the data you've got here. Seriously, the data that we give you as a landlord, this is just awesome and presented in a much nicer way than a boring old Excel spreadsheet. And then we've got all sorts of things in here. At your current pace, you're on track to reach your financial freedom number. And then it's got your milestones, your property journey so far, when you purchased the properties, going through. And here's your goal at the bottom. Tells you your underperforming properties as well, and then the cash flow by each property. That one was a flip. These are buy to lets. It really is something else. And this bit is my favorite part, honestly. We've had feedback from people who've looked at this, had a demo, and they love the visual representation of being able to have a target and seeing where you're at and just logging in and tracking that month by month. So let's speed things up. Let's jump into the deal pipeline. So if you're a property sourcer, or maybe you're a property investor and you're looking at, analyzing a property, and this is literally a Kanban. So we can go across through the various stages. So we found an opportunity, analysis has been completed, we've had a viewing booked, we've made an offer, we've had the offer accepted, there's the property. We just literally click on the property and move it along. So let's move it along to, we're in legals, exchanging contracts, save changes, and then you'll see it's moved along to exchange your contracts. So you can monitor, you can have multiple deals added to your pipeline in here. So if you're an investor or a sourcing agent, honestly, this just becomes a CRM system. It's so visual. And imagine you're a deal sourcer, you're analyzing 10 deals, 20 deals, a week. You can see where they're all up to. You can see if you need to speak to the agent, speak to the vendor. If you need to negotiate, you can dive in and look at the numbers again and pull up the analysis. There's so many tools here to go out for investors and deal sourcers. And then we've got the investor CRM. We've got one investor, John Smith, the investor here, we met him at a networking meeting. He's been onboarded, compliance 4 out of 4, readiness. He's ready to invest now, and he can see where each investor is at. So this guy, John Smith, AML checks are done, the ID's done, he's signed the sourcing agreement, you've got your proof of funds, he's been onboarded. It shows how many deals you've presented to Mr. John Smith, how many deals he's purchased, the conversion rate. There is investment preferences. So he's looking for buy-to-lets in Manchester. And you can obviously leave notes as well. So it's literally everything. It covers off a CRM, your deal analyzers, which are just something else. I'll just quickly show you the SA deal analyzer, which is really cool. So if you've got an SA and you're looking at your average nightly rates, you might take some of your bookings from Airbnb, some from booking.com, some from direct bookings. You can adjust the percentages here, and it all feeds into this data. And there's your gross profit and your net profit and your annual income. And it compares SA versus buy to let. And it all automatically populates. And again, with the AI feedback telling you whether things are a good deal or a bad deal, we can cover buy to SA, rent to SA. Honestly, we have covered everything with these deal calculators. B.R.R. calculator literally walks you through the process. So buy, refurb, refinance, rent. It's as simple as that with the same sort of inputs. Bridging finance, obviously you can have interest charged in different ways, service monthly, retained, rolled up. Everything is done for you. It takes things to a whole other level. And again, just as generate investor pack. So if you're a deal sourcer, honestly, this is how you take it up a notch. This is how you become uber professional, and you take things to another level by creating those investor packs, generating a full report. So that's Property Accelerator Pro, 5 strategy-specific deal analyzers, AI-powered deal scoring. You've got your portfolio dashboard that actually tells you what's going on, a financial freedom roadmap and tracker. You've got compliance tracking for all your documents and insurances, a deal pipeline, area research tools, investor tools, professional reporting that you can share with brokers and other professionals. Everything, literally everything is in here that you need to analyze, to track your deals, to grow a property portfolio all in one place, one piece of software.